How is everyone doing? I'm just going to raise my chair. Seems like my chair is really, really low. Someone's been sitting in my chair. How is everyone? So today I'm going to go through the 8 most common mistakes that earlier stage entrepreneurs make in their business, especially if you're a service-based business. This will be super applicable. I can't say that, applicable for you. So I've just recorded a podcast on this, and as I recorded it, I had some other insights land, and I wanted to jump on here and share it with you. So I'm going to boil it down into a shorter, more consumable version because that was 50 minutes. So the 8 most common mistakes that I see and I have made. So please, if you are nodding along with this and saying yes, 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 this is me, this is me, this is me, just know I've made every single one. And that is not a problem. Everybody does. I just want to help you figure out which ones are happening the most and then give you a really actionable solution of how to fix it, so you can go away and actually take action and make that better and make it easier and make it quicker for you to make money, because these are all the things that will prevent you from making money. Okay, so let's get to it. So the first problem that I see the most, and this has come through my many sales calls and working with many clients, these are the most common things that come up. Number one, you are overwhelming yourself with different strategies. You don't trust yourself enough to pick one and stick with it and give yourself the grace and the gift of time to see what's working. So you jump about. You jump from tactic to tactic, you follow tons of people, you do different things, and nothing has a chance to stick. So it's inconsistent results. Second is you change your offer and you change your price and you change your audience instead of changing how you are approaching them. So let me kind of explain how this shows up. This will be you if you've decided who you want to help, you've decided what to price your package or what you're offering, and then you go out to the market and you have conversations and people tell you things about your offer and they ask for a different thing. Essentially, they're like, oh, I'd like this if it was cheaper, or I'd like this. Someone's just going to deliver something through the window. 1 second. Hello? Hiya. Sorry, I can just give it through here. Thank you. Very unprofessional. Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye. Thanks. Just delivering a package. But yeah, this will basically be like you changing what you're doing to please the market. You adapting your offer to be for other people. You're letting other people decide what you offer. It's a huge mistake, and I see this happen time and time again. So this will show up as having tons of different price points. So you want to be accessible. This is the thought you're having, and you want to basically have all the clients. So you want to have something very, very affordable and something very expensive, but you're kind of confusing yourself, and it's really hard to sell because you have to sell all of them differently. And then you just change the price, or you change oh my god, I'm sorry. You change the length of time, or you change the niche when stuff doesn't work. So instead of changing you and how you're thinking about it and how you're selling it, you change the factors of your business. And then what happens is that your clients get confused and nobody buys. So then you keep repeating this pattern, and it's really soul destroying. I've been in that and it doesn't work. The third one is you haven't set the clear money goal. So you just didn't decide on a revenue goal and you didn't commit to it. It's a huge problem, because when you don't have a clear money goal, you don't work backwards. You don't think, okay, what would be the person that creates that money goal? What would they have to do? It doesn't access that part of your thinking. So everything you do is really vague and really woolly, and it doesn't solidify into concrete action steps. The fourth problem is you're not making sales, so you're not converting. You may be having sales calls if you're a bit further on in your business. If you're super early, you're just in the phase of not even anyone having a phone call with you, and you're like stressing out, wondering why. I'm going to walk through all the solutions, but I'm just going to lay out the problems first. We're going to get to the solution for that. Or if you are having sales calls, you're having them with the wrong people. Like, you may be having a lot of them and no one is a client, no one's saying yes. So that's a different problem, and we're going to solve for that as well. The fifth one is that content takes ages. It's really consuming so much of your working week that by the time you actually get to other things, you kind of run out of time, and then the content doesn't work. So it's not only taking ages, but it's not delivering the result. The result being not growing your audience and not growing followers, but money. Like I don't look at follower numbers. I even literally don't look at podcast listens or plays. I don't really follow any of that. I look at my bank balance. That's the measure that I take, and it's the measure that you should take 100%. The sixth problem is you feel a pressure to be on all the platforms and do all the things at once, and you're feeling very tired and stressed out, and it's burning you out. You're feeling exhausted and you're getting disappointed. And the seventh problem is that you're relying on one form of finding clients. So the specific example that I was thinking about for this is relying on networking. And if you're relying on networking, but 90% of your clients are coming from networking, 100% keep doing that. Whatever's working, keep doing. But I always look at all the ways that people can find me, and I teach this to my clients. You have to assess the time spent and the outcome. And if the time spent is way more than what you're getting out at the end, you just have to reassess and just see, is this the most effective use of my time? Is this a way to leverage my time? What I've found, especially with networking, it's very time intensive and the results can be really inconsistent. It just takes longer for people to become clients. Sometimes, not all the time, so I'm absolutely a huge fan of it, but just never put your eggs in one basket. So you need to have different ways that clients come to you to keep building a solid pipeline of enough warm, qualified leads. So that's a huge problem that I see. People are overly reliant on either one channel or one way of finding a client. And the last one is that you are kind of struggling with finding the right message. You're not having a fit, like there isn't a fit between person that you're selling to, message that you're telling them, and them taking action. There is something broken in that process. There is something that's not clear in that process, and you can't figure out what it is, whether it's the connection side and the marketing side and finding a relationship building, whether it's their experience of you and how you have authority and confidence and it gives them certainty that you can help them, or whether it's how you sell. Like there's just something that's not clicking with that kind of that marketing and sales piece. So those are all the problems that I see. So how we solve them, we're just going to go one by one. How can you solve the problem of having too many options, following too many people, not trusting yourself enough to trust that you know the right strategy, you're going to take the right actions, and you're going to get the result that you want? Is building this internal capacity to just say, I know how to do this, instead of the thought, I don't know how, because the thought, I don't know how, is what creates you switching strategies. Because you're like, I'll try this to see if this works because I don't know how. And then when that doesn't work, I'm going to try something else. And then when that doesn't work, I'm going to try something else. It's all fueled by your thought, I don't know how to do it. So I want to offer and recommend that instead of that thought that other people have the answer, and by the way, any like strategy, and I'm saying it like this because it's basically you just make up shit. Like that's literally it. When people sound really fancy and like, ooh, it must be really serious and businesslike because it's a strategy. It's just people trying a bunch of stuff. And people tried a bunch of stuff and then they're like, hey, this worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you too. So then you listen to them and you're like, this bunch of stuff doesn't work for me. Oh, must be something I'm doing wrong. I just want to offer that that's not a thing. That is absolutely not a thing. You can create, design, implement, envision your own absolutely unique strategy that only you have. No one else has done it ever before in the world. Isn't that the most exciting and fun thing? That is literally how you could grow your business. Just by following your intuition, following your gifts and your strengths and being aligned with your values. And this is what I find fascinating about the business coaching world. And there is so much good to be said about it and so many people doing incredible things. I'm in no way diminishing anyone else's business. But what I find intriguing and interesting is that people don't teach this because they think that if they taught that every strategy works and the client knows best, they would be doing themselves out of work, which is not true. Like, it's fascinating to me that you can grow a business 1,000 different ways. It's fascinating to me that you can literally just show up and just make it up on the spot and it works. But what underpins it working is your belief, your authority, your trust in yourself. That's what makes any strategy work 100%. I find it very interesting. So, number one, trust yourself. Be aligned with what you choose to do. Make life easy for you. Do the strategy that you're going to do. The best one is the one you do. So don't make it really hard by saying, oh, I'm going to do a series of videos, but you hate video. And every time a camera points at you, you stutter and you flail around and it's awful and you go bright red. Like, just don't do that to yourself. Find the path of least resistance. This is what I'm all about. Path of least resistance to make life easy, reduce the friction, do the thing that you will love and that you will do. Only you know that. You can get help, you can get coaching on that to have someone show you what that might be and help you mine your own brain, but you will come up with that answer yourself. So that's the first one. Sorry, I got on my soapbox. Second one is really sticking to a niche, sticking to an audience, sticking to a price, and sticking to a program or an offer or a package. That is the one that you want to sell, and that's the one you want to grow with. And I would recommend highly you have one, maximum two. And I know there is so much noise in the online space about having a tripwire offer and then a mid-tier offer, then a super like high offer, and then a really expensive offer. I just would caution against that in the first 3 years. When you're still in the phase of building a business and navigating all the shit that basically that brings up, and all the difficult stuff and all the difficult emotions and all the rejection and all the failure and all the hard stuff, just don't make life difficult for yourself by having 5 or 6 things you have to sell. It's going to be 5 different processes, 5 different marketing themes. It's just going to be complicated. Choose one that is the thing that you're like, I know today I can help this person with this. Like, if someone came to me today, I could 100% help them. What is that thing? And then offer that thing. Then price it and sell it and stick with it for at least 6 months. Give yourself enough of an opportunity for your market to understand who you are, for your clients to get used to your message, for you to grow in visibility and presence and authority. You can't do that when you keep flipping around, because your clients will be like, what? What's happening now? Oh, I've lost the plot. She's gone off and done something weird. So that's the second one. The third one is you have to set a money goal. And the reason why I think this is so important, and this really underpins everything, is because without a money goal, it all just remains out there, like up here, like not in reality. You need a money goal that delights you and fills you with joy. It's your joy number. It is not the, oh, I guess I could do it, I need about this much a month. And what's so fascinating to me is when I get on calls with potential clients and I ask them and they've never thought about it. Like, for the year, they're like, oh, I haven't thought about a goal. It never occurred to them to set the goal, either because it feels really overwhelming and difficult and they're suddenly flooded with, I don't know how to do that, and it causes fear, which could be a reason. Or the second one, it just literally didn't occur. But it's so hard to have a plan and have a strategy and stick to it if you don't have a result you're going to measure it by. It's like business basics that it has been ingrained in me from my entire background, my career, working in sales, targeted positions. You have to have a number and you work backwards from the number. So it's just second nature for me, but I realize it's not second nature for everyone else. So when people get on a call with me, it may be the first time they've even thought about it. And I see it as a huge privilege for me to help them with that figuring out. And of course, it's not going to be the right place or the right space to spend time with it on a sales call. So I recommend that if you haven't picked your 12-month goal, it could be a rolling 12 months, it could be a year, doesn't really matter, but just set the intention, set the money goal that delights you, not the one you need, not the one that will just about cover expenses, but still see you a bit like meh, like not that one, because you're going to be feeling meh about it the whole way through. What's the one that when you think about, you just get a full body sensation of delight? That's the one to go for. And the how doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if your brain offers you all the reasons why you can't, because there's a process for that. That's fine. You just set the goal and you give it a deadline. So that's how you solve that one. Now, not making sales and not having sales calls. If you are not having sales calls, what's happening is that people aren't connecting your solution to their problem. So you're not being compelling enough in your offer of a sales call. They don't understand why they would want a sales call with you. They're like, what do I get out of it? No, I'm okay. They don't jump on it. They're not connecting what you offer and the problem they're experiencing. So that is in your marketing. That is a marketing problem. It's not a sales problem. It means your marketing isn't speaking to your best client and it's not really convincing them and telling them how valuable this interaction will be, how valuable it's going to be for them to jump on a call with you, what they're going to get out of it. If you remember, humans are always self-focused. We're always like, what's in it for me? Will it cost me time? Will it cost me money? Is it going to be a pain in the butt? Like, that's essentially where we come from. So if you can knock all those down, be like, this is why you should spend time. This is why it's going to be free, or whatever it is. If you have a free discovery call, this is what you'll get out of it. And this is why it's going to be amazing. You need to talk about that. People won't just do that if you don't show them how useful it's going to be. So that's so important. If, however, you are getting lots of calls but you're not converting, that's a different problem. That is a sales problem. You're either not believing somewhere that you're able to offer the solution, or that they can get the result, or that the process works. There is something holding you back, or there's one of 5 things that you're just not doing on a sales call. I talk about this in my coaching. There's an entire process that I walk my clients through on how to have an empowered and empowering conversation as equals about whether to work together or not. That is what I teach. It's not about convincing or persuading or stressing yourself out. Can be fun. Like, you need to first work on your own certainty and belief to be in the right place to be able to offer and to have a good sales conversation. So if you're not making sales, there will just be something missing from those 5 steps. Now, the problem of content taking ages, the solution for that is working on what are the steps that your clients need to take from where they come to you to getting the end result of working together. What is the process? What do they have to do in order to get the results? What is the first baby step that they need to take on that journey with you? And what's the second thing? Then what's the third? What's the fourth? There could be 5, there could be 6. It doesn't really matter. But once you've taken people through that, write it all down. Like, there is going to be a specific process that you take people through. Write that down. That is going to be where all of your content comes from. You can also write down all the results that people get and then talk about that in your content. So there's definitely a formula to making this a lot easier. You can use yourself, you can use different stories. If you've not taken anyone through this, you can just use your own experience and say, this is where I was before I found this thing or this tool, and this is what's happened since, and this is how I used it, and this is what I found, this has been my experience. You can just use yourself. When you don't have enough evidence outside, just use yourself, because there will be something in your life that you've done, that you've achieved, that you've overcome. You've faced fear of some description, you've overcome struggles, you've dealt with challenges. You can use yourself and apply it to that step-by-step process. What was the thing that you did? How can you teach someone else how to do that? All of your content will flow so much more easily, which leads me on to the next one. You don't need to be on all the platforms all the time. Choose 1 or 2. If you're on social media and you're pretty adept and you've been on it a while, 2 is more than enough. I promise you, your people are everywhere. It's never a problem. If you choose to be on Facebook and you're like, oh man, but I'm super professional, I'm not sure why people are here, they're there. They are 100% there. I worked at LinkedIn and we used to have this conversation all of the time. We had to argue LinkedIn's case for advertising spend versus Facebook. And people would be like, oh, it's a different audience. No, it's the same audience. Literally the crossover is like 94% of the same people. There's a very small proportion that only go onto one platform. Really small, so it kind of doesn't matter. You can just go wherever you feel drawn to, make it easy for yourself, and just go where you want to show up. But don't worry about having to be everywhere all the time. It's not a problem. It is absolutely not. Do one thing well. It's about constraining your focus. It's about having like one offer, one price, one platform. Just do those things really well and the rest will absolutely take care of itself. And then the last thing about joining up the marketing and the selling and the delivery. Like when you think that something's wonky, it's about diagnosing the problem. Is it that people aren't coming to me? So it's a marketing problem, or it could be an authority problem. It could be a self-image problem. It could be an identity problem that you don't see yourself as someone that people come to. You need to work on that stuff first. Is it that when they're coming, they're enjoying the content, but they're not taking action? That is a messaging problem. It's a very specific, it's a call to action problem, and it's a kind of like understanding your client well enough as well. Because if you don't really understand what they're grappling with and what their struggles are, you can't provide the solution for it or talk about it articulately or in a way that they understand, that joins the dots for them. When they listen to you, their thought should be, oh, she 100% knows what she's talking about. I'm going to work with her because she talked about this over and over again. So like that solidifies the message, which is why having a high volume of content and high visibility always works in your favor. And I don't mean to the point of like excluding all other things, but whenever you're thinking, what's the thought? Whenever you're thinking, I don't know, it's not working, people aren't seeing me, just imagine that you need to 10 times the amount of stuff that you're putting out so that the people even see you, because it's true. Like the way that social media algorithms work, I mean, I am not in the business of tactics to game algorithms. It's just not my jam. I find it deeply boring. It doesn't align with me. I never look at my insights, probably to my detriment. What I focus on is the quality of what I'm saying and then quantity. Like just get that stuff out. Just literally plaster the online world with your message and make sure that there are offers within that message so that when people find you and they hear about you from these other places, and we'll talk about that in another session, there is so much stuff to binge on that they can be like, oh my God, this is amazing stuff. It really connects with me, and that they find exactly what you do and why super early. So especially on Instagram, you want to be making offers and pinning them so people know how to work with you. It's really simple tricks. But in terms of like the wild west of getting seen on the algorithm, I would say just like post a ton. Post a ton, which is not going to be a problem for you now because you've figured out the process that it helps your clients, and you can write about that in so many different ways. So content is not a problem for you. So just max out on visibility. No harm can come of it, no harm at all. So that's what I've got for you. I think I missed one thing. Oh no, we talked about the simple sales process. So keep focus, keep your goal in sight, write your goal down every day, and then think to yourself, what is one thing that I can do, or 3 things I can do today aligned to that goal? How am I going to keep myself on track to this end? It's everything. Okay, have an amazing day. If you want help with any of this, if you're feeling like this is a lot, and by the way, this was a lot, so feel free to rewatch it, make notes. There's like, this is literally my brain dump of all of the things I want to tell you and all of the things I want to help you with, because it's what comes up time and time again. So I've recorded a full podcast exactly on this as well, so I'll link this in the comments. But if you do want help with any of these things, and if you do want help from me diagnosing what exactly is coming up for you and how that's creating the results you have, then book a free call, because this is what we do together on the consultation. You will tell me all the things that are happening. I will listen out for really specific stuff, and I will piece together the reality of why it's happening and what you need to do to change it, very simply. So if that sounds like something you want to do together, DM me, or you can comment here. We'll book some time and I'll help you tighten this up so that you've got an actionable plan for next year to create the money and the impact that you want to have. Okay, have an awesome day. Bye.